Today, we're diving into a technology that's not just new, it's a complete game changer. It's turning decades of stone care practices on their head and challenging the very foundation of what we thought was possible. Now listen to this. This claim comes from a veteran with 30 years in the trenches, and it gets right to the point. The idea that some beautiful stones are just naturally soft and have to get damaged, it's a myth, and we're about to find out why. All right, for years, the stone care world has been built on a couple of key ideas. But here's a thought. What if those accepted truths are actually causing the problems we're trying to fix? Let's pull back the curtain on the old way of doing things. So traditionally, you really only had two choices, and honestly, neither of them are great. First, you've got the brute force method. This is where heavy machines literally grind off the top layer of your stone. It's incredibly loud, makes a huge dusty mess, and you're permanently destroying part of your floor. The other option? That's the quick surface fix. Slapping on some wax or a coating. Sure, it looks shiny for a bit, but it wears off super fast and can even trap dirt, making the floor look yellow and gross over time.
So, faced with these not-so-great options, the industry came up with what seemed like a clever shortcut, a way to get that high-gloss look, especially in busy places like hotel lobbies. But this popular method, it has a really dark side.
It's a process called crystallization, sometimes known as vitrification. Basically, you spray an acidic liquid onto the stone, think marble or limestone, and then you buff it with a steel wool pad. The friction creates a ton of heat, and that heat triggers a chemical reaction right there on the surface of the stone. And here's where the chemistry gets interesting and a little scary. The process takes the stone's natural calcium carbonate, that's the stuff that makes it relatively soft, and chemically transforms it into a new, harder compound. But here's the kicker. This isn't a coating that just sits on top. It's a permanent change to the stone itself. The only way to get rid of it is to physically grind it off. And this just lays it all out. The promise? A hard, shiny, durable floor. The reality? Well, it can be an absolute disaster. This new hard layer is brittle, so it can cause the stone underneath to flake, crack, and chip. It also seals the surface so tightly that it traps moisture inside, which can cause the stone to basically rot from the inside out. Oh, and to top it all off, tiny bits of the steel wool pad get stuck in the stone, rust, and leave these awful orange stains. Not good. So that brings us to the big question, right? If the old-school grinding method destroys your floor and this chemical shortcut is super risky, what are you supposed to do? There has to be a better way.
And there is. This is where the lithium revolution comes in. We're talking about a technology that doesn't just mess with the surface, it gets deep inside the stone to fundamentally change its structure for the better.
Just look at that number. We are talking about making the stone up to 40% harder. Think about that for a second. A soft, porous limestone can become dramatically tougher and way more resistant to all the scuffs and scratches of daily life.
So how in the world does it work? Well, instead of using harsh acids on the surface, this system uses incredible lithium technology. It sends tiny lithium particles deep into the pores of the stone. Once they're in there, they trigger the growth of new, stronger crystals that fill in all the gaps. The stone literally becomes denser from the inside out. It's not a surface treatment, it's a structural upgrade. And this is what you get. A stunning high-gloss floor, where the shine isn't coming from some temporary wax or a damaging chemical burn. No, that shine is the real deal. It's the visual proof of a stone that is truly dense, hard, and healthy.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. How does this all actually happen? Well, it's this brilliantly simple 5-step method. It's all about precision chemistry, not brute force.
Let's walk through it. First, you open the pores. We use a specialized pad to gently clean the surface and get it ready to accept the treatment. Second, you dry it. This is absolutely critical. The floor needs to be perfectly dry, like a thirsty sponge, so it can soak up the formula. Third, the transfusion. This is the magic part. We apply the lithium hardener and the stone just drinks it right up. Fourth, the diamond polish. We use a series of superfine diamond pads to smooth the surface, which not only creates that amazing shine, but also closes the pores, locking in all that goodness. And finally, step 5, the finish. A special sealer goes on to bring out the stone's natural color and add one last layer of protection. Now, the key to all this precision is the tools. We're talking about advanced pads that are impregnated with diamonds. These things are engineered to perfectly prep and polish the stone on a microscopic level, all without causing any of the damage you'd get from old-school grinding. When you put this all together, it's not just another way to clean a floor. It's a totally new philosophy. You could call it smart restoration. So here's the bottom line. You get a floor that is measurably harder and way more durable. The stone's natural color and beauty pops. It's not covered up. It's incredibly resistant to scratches. And you get all of this without the destructive grinding, without nasty chemicals, and without the insane noise and dust that totally disrupts a home or business.
And this quote just says it all. For the client, the process is just as amazing as the result. They get this incredible floor without their space being turned into a chaotic, dusty construction zone. It's clean, it's intelligent, it's just better.
You know, this isn't just a new trick. This technology is the result of decades of hands-on experience fused with cutting-edge chemistry and intelligence. It's the kind of knowledge that forward-thinking pros share to truly master their craft. And that really leaves us with one last big question. The old way was all about grinding away damage or just covering it up. This new way is about making the stone genuinely stronger. So why would you ever settle for just damaging the surface of a floor when you can strengthen its very structure from the inside out?
Look, this color, it is again purely natural.